What's up, y'all? Back again. It's gonna be a lot going on in this video. I don't know if I'm gonna break it into parts or just let it run. I'm gonna try to time lapse most of it because most of this stuff, I mean, like taking the bumper off, taking the exhaust off, y'all aren't gonna care about, all right? So I have an LS9, dual springs, ATI balancer with a 9.55 blower. Sorry, a 9.55 blower. And I got a full stainless works exhaust to put on. It's definitely gonna suck me under the car. I'm not looking forward to that. But because I'm taking the blower and everything off and the heads off, taking the stock manifolds off should be pretty easy, all right? Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself, but yeah. In a lot of my builds, I use the LS9 cam because, you know, it's a novelty having a big cam and the car shaking and stinks at idle. That's cool for like if it's not your daily or, you know, you're new to it, but if I can still make my goal 600 wheel horsepower with an LS9 cam, easy on the valve train, smooth idle, low idle, you know, good gas mileage, then that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I would like to do. So that's my goal. That's why I went with LS9. Should be no surprise to y'all who follow me. But I am gonna get another car on the side and go crazy with that. But for now, I want this to be my daily. It's super comfortable, love the car. So yeah, let's get this cam kit installed. All right, so I got the bumper off, the paneling under the car off, a couple pieces up top off, the strut bar. All right, so I'm at a place where that stuff is like redundant. All right, did it in my last video. I'm sure plenty of people took that stuff off, so you don't need to see it. Right now, I'm gonna do a time lapse of taking the supercharger off and everything. Also, I already drained some coolant out of the supercharger system, so I'm just gonna disconnect the lines from the lid and take the lid and the line off at the same time and disconnect everything. I gotta pull the fans out, the radiator out, all the accessories, stuff like that, the heads, yada yada. So yeah, I'll just pause whenever I need to explain some stuff. Alright, so as y'all can see, supercharger's off, radiator's out, trans cooler is out. The fans, taking the fans out was pretty annoying. I guess I could have looked some up to make it easier, but a lot of the trans lines, power steering lines and stuff like that were bolted to it. The air dam was especially annoying. There's 3 of these little clips that you just pull out. There's no top of them that you pop and then pop the rest out. It's just like you push them in, pull them out. All right. There's 3 of them. I thought there was 2. That was a headache. On the trans cooler side, you only need to take out the passenger side line. All right. The driver side line on the trans cooler, not the part that goes into the radiator, but the small trans cooler itself, that's separate from the radiator. The driver side of that goes into the top of the radiator. So you only need to disconnect 3 trans lines, all right, which is the bottom of the radiator, top of the radiator, and you disconnect the top of the radiator to get it around the AC line, okay? So it's confusing. If you're doing this, that's the best tips I can give you. The fan has 4 bolts holding it. Pretty straightforward. That's what took the longest for me, was getting the fans and the radiator out. After that, it's smooth. Took 2 seconds to take the blower off. I mean, I've done it on so many cars, etc., etc. Now, I'm gonna try to position the camera so you see downward. I gotta take the water pump off. I'll probably take the power steering pump off and like zip tie it somewhere, so I'll have to disconnect the lines. We'll see. If not, I'm just gonna have to take it out. No biggie. The alternator I'll leave in. Yeah, it looks like the alternator and the ACs be the only things I leave in, but yeah, going right along. All right. Last time I filmed, I took everything off. It was Wednesday. It's now Saturday. I messed my knee up, so I've been taking it easy until then. But now I feel good, ready to get back at it. Last thing I saw was me putting the crank puller on, and the problem is it's just spinning. All right, I'm so used to having manuals. This is a 6L90 automatic, 6-speed automatic. There's a sight hole at the bottom of the flywheel or the bell housing area, and I thought I could wedge something in there. It didn't really work out. So what I'm gonna have to do is pull the manifold, pull the starter, and hopefully I can wedge something in there. That's the best I got. I mean, I don't have power tools like that. I got a little Milwaukee stubby. It's not the strongest. But yeah, that's where I'm at. After that, I'm gonna have to pull accessories, the heads, the cam, etc. So this is probably the hardest part, the most time consuming. So I gotta get on there and cut the exhaust out because 1 bolt is stuck on this side. This side, they both broke. And on one side, on this side, 1 came out, 1 is stuck. So too easy, I'm just gonna cut it out. And then from there, I can access the starter and all that stuff easily. So that's where I'm at. I should be done today. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it. But yeah, let's get into it. So here's another angle. I do have a 160-degree thermostat going in. But yeah, like I said, the radiator, the water pump has to come out. I have to take the heads off, so I definitely have to take this off. What I'm gonna try to do is zip tie this off to the side, so I have to disconnect the lines. We'll see. The alternator is staying put, and the AC compressor is staying put. Balancer coming out, clearly, and then this has to come out. All right, so pretty straightforward. Not really dirty in here as I thought it'd be. You know, so pretty clean actually. I had a catch can on it for the last like 500 miles and only used shell. I don't know if that makes a difference, but a lot cleaner than I thought it'd be. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty easy. It's just annoying, the trans lines and everything. Like all these are connected to the fan, so you have to disconnect them Every time I thought I got 2 or 3 of them out and that was it, it'd be another one I have to take out. And then, like I was saying, on the sides here of this air dam, all right, this is it. You can see this side, there's nothing to pull out on the top. It's just you push in or pull out. So you have to get all these out. I got kind of crazy with mine. Sometimes I took a flathead to them and popped them with a hammer so they break in half. But I have a bunch of those in a box somewhere, so I'm just gonna put them back in. So pretty straightforward. The AC condenser and the heat exchanger can just hang. They'll hang on the, you see down here on the hoses. This is hanging on the corner of that rad mount right there. And I'm sure it'll be on this side. Plenty of clearance to get the cam out. I might have to tilt this back later on. Plenty of space to do that. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, y'all. Put y'all back on the time lapse and take the rest of this out. So. All right, so I got the manifolds off. It's pretty tight, but I've had worse. I left the spark plugs in because they're like a real pain to get out. And I don't really care if the spark plugs get busted or anything. So what I did on like this side, it's just gonna tilt over and I'm just gonna pull it down. Like I already disconnected the steering shaft on this side, which was a little rusted, so that was a pain too. But I had to climb under the car and cut this side, the exhaust off, so I can get this out, get the starter out, and then while I'm under there, get that manifold out. All right, so I just got the OEM exhaust out, the catalytic converter. Oh, this thing won't focus. There you go. I don't know what cell count that is, but now onto the 2-inch stainless works. Now these were ridiculously priced, man, and of course I rush delivered them. But they were, I think, $2,900 or something like that, including tax and shipping. So. They look decent enough. The X-pipe and stuff is inside the house. Here is a little cat. It's a 200 cell. So it's not the best cat, I guess, but it's a high flow. I can't tell you anything about high flow cats because I usually just delete them. I'll probably delete this one too. But yeah, full 3-inch. Except for the back, my OEM stuff is just a muffler delete, which is a 2-inch or 2.5-inch. So I'm gonna have to get that, you know, modified to a 3-inch. Man, this stuff's not focusing. There we go. But yeah, quite the weight difference, man. I'm too lazy to bring out the scale, but man, that's a fucking ridiculous weight. So for weight savings alone, man, it's worth it. But yeah, moving on. I gotta take the other side out and I gotta cut the rest of the exhaust off and then just pull this one out the bottom. You know? And like I was saying earlier, that's all rusted up, so it was hard. Can't even get it out all the way. I just pushed it to the side and slid it through, but you know. Yeah, gotta get this side out. And then, like I said, wedge something in between the flywheel, pull the balancer out, and just pull the top end off and the accessories and swap the cam, etc. All right, so that's a quick exhaust comparison. Finally got that out. I had to drop the starter because my impact couldn't pop off the rusty nuts to separate the cat off the manifold on the passenger side. So the driver's side is actually easier, taking the steering linkage off. Make sure you mark it, and make sure your steering wheel is locked before you mess with it, because if that turns, you can break a clock spring or throw off a sensor, which will throw off a check engine light or something like that. So, like I said, y'all saw a comparison between the OEM manifolds and the Stainless Works 2-inch headers and 3-inch from the collector's back. Now that next down, so I can adapt it to the OEM exhaust. So it's gonna be tricky trying to pair that to my little muffler delete section, but it goes back far enough for me not to care. I can just drive to an exhaust shop after I get it, fired up, if it doesn't really reach or connect. So, and then I'll probably put it all 3 inches anyway. But now that the exhaust is out of the way, the flywheel portion is exposed, so I can try to wedge something in there and then pull the accessories and everything off. So let's get that knocked out. So here we are. Gotta clean those up. But yeah, power steering bracket is off. The power steering is just hanging here by itself. So that's good. I didn't have to open the system or nothing. I just gotta take this side off, and then my 3-jaw puller is like bent. So like it's not straight. It doesn't pull it out straight. It's crooked. So it's just binding. So I'm gonna have to rent one from AutoZone in the morning. So for now, I'll just pull the head, and in the morning I'll pull this out, get the cam pulled, and then start putting everything back together. Alright, so the heads are out. They look good. I know it's not sitting on the bare floor, they're sitting on the gaskets. So, but yeah, I gotta swap these in. I'll do that tomorrow though. Wrap the car up tomorrow, but yeah. Like I said, I don't have the tool to pull this, so my night's over with. So I'll get that pulled in the morning, the cam pulled, and start putting everything back tomorrow. So. All right, so we just got the balancer off. All right, I don't remember them being this damn heavy, but it's out. All right, so I got the ATI balancer. Here's the OEM one that's going on. All right, got the green belt. And just a quick size comparison. You know what I'm saying? Just swallows it. You all see that? So 955, I believe the stock is 7.8, and this is a 955, so, or 9.6 from DMS. But yep, y'all know I always like to use the ATI stuff. Huge fan of it. There's the AC pulley. And the hub. So AC goes behind it clearly, and then this 9.5 will sit on top of it like that. So, but I'll put this together in a little bit. I still got to pull that cam out. So. Pause that good reggae. Okay, so I don't know if y'all picked that up on a time lapse. This is a new GM lifter, right? You can see the difference. This one is brown, it's old. None of the lifters came out when I pulled this tray out, so that's how you know these are worn. All right, some people cam these cars, like I see it a lot, and they just pull the cam out, put a new cam in. All right, you probably want to pull these just to take out the trays, put some new lifters in there. All right, just my opinion, because like I said, none of the lifters came out with the trays, which means these are very worn. All right, so an entire section of me recording a time lapse of me pulling lifters didn't record, okay? Sorry about that. But I put all the OEM ones in here. 100,000 miles. They look pretty good. All right. But like I was saying before, they didn't stick in the trays very well. I mean, look, this one falls right out. All right. So what could happen is, you know, this could turn in the tray and tear up your cam. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why you want to use new trays. Now here's a new tray. You could shake this. It's staying in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you want to get new trays. I mean, if you have low enough miles, I guess you can leave just lifters and stuff. Now I see a lot of people just swap the cam. But I have a box of GM. I only use GM sensors and lifters. Okay, you can get away with using China or, you know, off-brand non-AC ductile stuff elsewhere, but lifters you always want to go OEM as well as all sensors. Like you can see, these are LS7, OEM LS7, and I have, you know, brand new OEM LS7s as well. A lot of people have success with the Delphi stuff, the aftermarket stuff, but after the GM strike, man, you don't know what's what unless you're getting it from GM or Summit or somebody reputable, because, you know, you see a lot of China sellers just marketing them as Delphi or whatever and selling them. I would stay away from those, man. Just stay with GM. That's just my opinion, you know. So, but I just want to pause and say that, you know, OEM, you know, I always recommend OEM lifters. Okay, get this, the cheap stuff. Don't put it in your engine, man,
because you're gonna pay in twice. You're gonna have to put those in there. They may last 100 miles, more or less, but you're gonna have to pull them out if they fail, and it's gonna cost you double. You know, you're gonna have to buy new gaskets and all that stuff. It's just gonna cascade into a shit show. That's my opinion. Alright, so I messed up. I kind of went wild now that it's out, but this corner here punctured my condenser. You can push it down for some clearance. Alright, I wasn't paying attention, and this part dug into it, and you can see some Freon or whatever on the ground. Refrigerant, whatever it's called. And this has been hissing for like the last hour. I let it air out a little bit, and, you know, whatever. I came back to start working again. Bearings look good. No complaints. Can I turn the okay, flash is on. Let's see if we can see in there. Everything looks good. I gotta clean these pistons. You can still see the cross hatching. I guess my camera lens might be smudged or something because this thing is having a hard time focusing, but yeah. Be careful with this condenser. I overnighted a new one, won't be here till Tuesday, so I'm just gonna put everything else on or in and clean and work around, do the exhaust, yada yada. But you know, I can't put the bumper and stuff on until, or the radiator and all that, until I get this in. And now that I'm stuck here waiting, I might order an aluminum radiator while we're sitting here. But, you know, moral of the story is be careful when you're pushing this down. All right. Genuine LS9 cam, y'all. Y'all know I love this cam. I used to use the big cams and stuff in my older builds, but like I preach, I like it to be steady idle, good gas mileage, not stinking idle. All right, it's a stock cam. Stock LSA cam, stock LS9 cam. But yeah, you still pick up about 20, 30 horses at the wheels. All right, this has way higher lift. All right, it's a little more aggressive. Sounds a little better idle too, in my opinion, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing lubed up and installed. LS9 cam in, everything in. Just dot to dot. I don't know if y'all can see that. There you go, dot to dot. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put the timing cover on. Probably get the ATI on, or start it at least. And then I gotta clean these, move on to the heads, put the
this is day 3. Okay, see, I already know my knee's been fucked up, but I poked a hole in the condenser, all right? I'll show y'all some footage of that later and ways to avoid that, all right? Really stupid of me. But hey, shit happens. I overnighted one from Rock Auto, will be here tomorrow. So right now, I gotta clean the block, but first I'm gonna swap the springs on the heads, clean them up a little bit, you know, swap the seals. I went with dual springs. It's probably way too much seat pressure for the LS9 cam, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. Plus, I don't know if boost and the heavier valves on the LSA come into play. But I've tried the single beehive springs, and I had one break on the GTO with the LS9 cam, all right? Right before its warranty was up, it broke. So I went with dual springs. So if it does break, luckily last time one broke, nothing happened, it just kissed the piston, but I don't think the dual springs will break, and if it does, it has the helper spring in the middle to, you know, help me limp to the off the side of the road, or whatever. That's my excuse for it. So I'm gonna swap those over, put the heads on, do the exhaust, and then tomorrow I will wrap up the car. Finish line is here, guys. I'm excited, so let's get the show on the road. All right, so pretty much just did a quick clean of the piston tops. Maybe I could have just put elbow grease in it and got it all out, but didn't bother. Cleaned everything up. Now, start putting this thing together. So here's the new condenser, since I punctured a hole in the old one. What I'm probably gonna do is, I know you're not supposed to expose it to the atmosphere, but I don't care. I'm gonna fill it up with my own Freon, hopefully it works. But I'm probably gonna attach the heat exchanger to this
and drop it in one time. Which y'all see I got the balancer. ATI balancer with a 9.6 inch lower. The green belt for racing points. And I just gotta put the injectors on. I'm having a hard time with my tuners. So what I might have to do is just put on the stock injectors, start it, make sure everything's good, and then drive to a tuner, and then swap them before I get on the dyno to the new injectors. But yeah, we're coming along, y'all. Let me show y'all the exhaust. For damn near $3,000, it definitely is the best fitting exhaust. It doesn't hang low like some long tubes do. I'm gonna have to go to exhaust shop because I'm pretty sure the rear of this needs adjusting that I just don't feel like doing on my back. It'd be nice to have a lift. Let me show you the tips. They hang a little low to me. Huge restriction on this old exhaust. But yeah, should be done here in a few hours. Get it started. Oh, and I have to get the new grills in. But yeah, she's almost finished.